At 18 years old, Lin Qingyu was forcefully married into the Nanhou family, becoming the ill Lu Wancheng's male wife. On the evening of their wedding, young Master Ho lay lazily on the bed and said, "Beauty, to be honest, I don't really want to engage in domestic struggles. I just want to drift along, eat and wait to die. I want to be a salted fish." A year later, young Master Ho became gravely ill. He took Lin Qingyu's hand and sighed, "Wife, I'm going to die, but I think I can continue to transmigrate. In order for you to properly recognize me in the future, let us set a secret code." After the death of young Master Ho, Lin Qingyu was prepared to stay a widow all his life. He would rather die than remarry. Unexpectedly, after only 100 days, someone actually came to propose marriage and recited their agreed-upon secret code. "I will marry you." Thrice Married to a Salted Fish, or 三家咸鱼, is a novel written in 2021 by author Bi Kapi, consisting of 149 chapters. Her other popular works are The Whole World is My Crematorium and How Two Emperors Royally Smitten, which I have already covered on my channel. You know what's worse than having an arranged marriage by your parents? Having an arranged marriage by the empress of your country. At least you can run away from home if it's your parents, but where do you go when rejecting marriage means offending the throne? That's exactly the situation Lin Qingyu finds himself in. At just 18 years old, with dreams of becoming an imperial physician, his ambitions are abruptly derailed when he's forced into an arranged marriage by royal decree. Lin Qingyu is a cold and merciless character, but people keep underestimating him because of his overwhelming beauty, thinking that he's just a pretty vase who climbed the ladder using his face. These people forget the simple rule of the jungle. The more beautiful something is, the more poisonous. At the start, we see how ruthless he is by already planning to poison his newly wedded husband in order to escape. It's only by Lu Wancheng's declaration of not messing with him and dying as soon as possible that curbed the idea in Lin Qingyu's mind. As Lin Qingyu slowly gets to know his weird new husband, his cold exterior starts to crack. When given the option to extend the ill Lu Wancheng's life for a year, although he hesitates, he eventually goes through with it. Even though that would mean he would miss the imperial physician examination and have to wait 3 more years for the next one, a serious sacrifice for someone so dedicated to his dream. Because of a moment of soft-heartedness, he put someone else he had hardly known before his own interests, showing that he wasn't completely heartless and still has some respect for human life. It's clear that the male lead fell first, but who's to say Lin Qingyu didn't fall harder? Lin Qingyu is slower to realize his feelings. A lot of the time, he keeps reminding male lead of their brotherhood, but his actions and thoughts differed otherwise. Like, fellas, is it gay to have absolute trust that your homie would do anything possible to find you in the next life no matter what, and all you have to do is wait patiently? I like that they showed the effects of the male lead's multiple deaths on Lin Qingyu. Having his lover die continuously with no promise of reuniting leads to Lin Qingyu developing separation anxiety and paranoia. I wouldn't put it past him to lock the male lead up in his basement so they could stay together forever. He could have turned out to be a real red flag if not for the male lead's reassurance. One of the rare instances where the male lead honestly steals the show from the main character. Since I don't want to spoil his real name, I shall refer to him as surnamed Jiang. The salted fish turned out to be a more well-developed character than I first expected him to be. For anyone unaware, the Chinese term salted fish is used to describe someone who just wants to lie down and not do anything, content with doing the bare minimum to survive. Surnamed Jiang's hobbies are playing around and sleeping. Worthy of holding the title of salted fish, he will do anything in his power to secure a peaceful life with the least amount of effort. Unfortunately, the world seems to want him to work hard because all the identities he gets transmigrated into requires more and more work from him, and his goal of a leisurely life seems farther and farther away. Despite lounging around all day, surnamed Jiang is surprisingly reliable. After all, living a carefree life isn't easy. It takes skill, smarts, and the occasional burst of effort. When Jiang does decide to get serious, he doesn't settle for less than perfection. Because if working hard is the only way to return to his afternoon nap, then he'll do it better than anyone else. One thing I'm impressed about surnamed Jiang is his willingness to be emotionally vulnerable, especially in front of Lin Qingyu. In many stories, male leads are written to be unshakable, calm in the face of danger, and unbothered by fear or pain. They often carry an air of invincibility, as if no challenge could ever truly face them. However, surnamed Jiang breaks that mold. He openly admits to being afraid of death and wanting to run away from his problems. Most likely because unlike the archetypal male leads who are often already seasoned by years of hardship when we meet them, surnamed Jiang isn't hardened yet. He was just a 17-year-old boy living his peaceful school days before being suddenly thrown into a world of political intrigue and life or death stakes. With all that set up, it feels like he has more freedom to express his true emotions and be weak, whereas other male leads can't afford to show weakness, either because of the plot or it wasn't important. But it has to be said that although he's not opposed to talking about his feelings and admitting his fears, Surname Jiang often tries to downplay the severity of the situation in front of Lin Qingyu. He brushes things off, makes light of danger, and acts as though there's nothing to worry about. Not because he actually believes that, but because he doesn't want Lin Qingyu to worry. Surname Jiang knows he isn't some omnipotent transmigrator with a golden finger. He doesn't have a foolproof plan or guaranteed plot armor. He's afraid of dying, afraid of pain, and afraid of losing the person he's come to care about so deeply. He knows Lin Qingyu can see through him, yet he still puts on a brave face, choosing to act strong for someone else's sake, even when he himself is scared. The relationship is the highlight of this novel. First off, trope reversal. If you've read your fair share of fiction, you should know that it's typically the main character that's the transmigrator and the male lead the book villain. Here, just a simple switch in their identity gives a completely different vibe and freshness to the story. Surname Jiang's use of modern terms and slang confuses Lin Qingyu, which leads to some pretty funny moments. The word for husband, meaning eunuch in the novel world, leads to Lin Qingyu misunderstanding the male lead, actually wanting to be a eunuch. There was a word he introduced that I really liked though, which was protagonist. Surname Jiang describes Lin Qingyu as a protagonist. In his definition, a protagonist is someone that can endure all the harsh winds and waves of the world and still come out on top. He believes he only made it this far because he was with his protagonist, Lin Qingyu, which is sweet, but also undermining his abilities, to be honest. You know how in some novels, Party A has to go to this dangerous place, but Party B won't let them go alone, even though Party B has their own responsibilities to deal with at home. Cue the emotional tug-of-war. And in the end, both Party A and Party B go together, leaving their responsibilities behind in someone else's hands. Yeah, that doesn't happen here. Something I love about the author is that her couples are always grounded and rational. They aren't blinded by love and driven by impulse. There isn't always going to be some miracle solution that allows them to be together and complete their goals at the same time. Sometimes one of them has to go and the other has to stay behind. Even when the stakes are high, even when the risk is death, they don't abandon reason for sentimentality, which I highly respect. Next is the boyfriend effect. What happens when you put a workaholic and a slacker in a room for 5 years? They start rubbing off on each other. Lin Qingyu, as a doctor and head of the household, obviously has a lot of work to do. But with the company of a certain salted fish, he learns the revolutionary concept of lying in bed all morning without guilt. He discovers the underrated joy of wasting time. By the end of the novel, he even yearns for the salted fish life himself. But of course, someone in the relationship has to keep the lights on. So Lin Qingyu continues working, just with slightly more sighing and strategic lazing. Similarly, Surname Jiang is also influenced by Lin Qingyu. Though he's still mostly a salted fish, with all his different identity changes, he knows he has to get up and work hard to continue staying by Lin Qingyu's side. Although Surname Jiang hates being tired, as long as it's for Lin Qingyu, anything is possible. Lastly is the romance between these two. The scheming couple who just wants to live in peace, but everything around him keeps disturbing them. Lin Qingyu always felt ashamed about his killing intent towards others, even though he's a doctor that's supposed to save lives. That was until a novel reader came into his life and told him being a big villain is actually really hot. This reader even accompanies him to discuss evil deeds in the middle of the night and support his evil endeavors. How could he not fall for him? Surname Jiang was a simp from day one, but it wasn't as platonic as he thought. Only realizing his feelings after bro-zoning himself, he awkwardly tries to court Lin Qingyu. Thus, the amazing banter and comedy ensues. Progression for their relationship was pretty smooth and seamless. Both were very mature about it despite their young age. If you've made it this far, make sure to like and subscribe. The physical English book of Thrice Married to a Salted Fish will be released this November. I can't wait to see what the cover of the second volume will look like now that I know the context of the first volume.